Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to my channel and thank you guys. Thank you guys. There's almost 10,800 of you. Where'd y'all come from? Please stay. Check and make sure that you guys are subscribed. Please, please. That's happened to me. Just like how the comments disappear, YouTube has a way of unsubscribing people. So please, if you would, please check that. Because that doesn't cost anything, and it's certainly currency for me. And guys, I mean, I appreciate you. I wanted to talk to you about Jennifer Lopez. Now, I'm not trying to take pot shots at her. I don't care for her as a person. I haven't heard things about her that make me say, she's a good person, or I'd like to have lunch with her, or my day might be benefited by her presence. I've never ever thought that about her. And please understand that there are celebrities that I think would and do have things to say that benefit people. I definitely do. She is not one of those. She has never been one of those. And we see pictures now of Ben Affleck and how at ease he seems to be with Jennifer Gardner, his ex. And there's speculation, are they going to get back together? Aren't they going to get back together? Does he have to get married again? Like, seriously, does he have to get married again? Does there have to be a label? She is currently, I thought Jennifer Gardner was currently involved with somebody, and actually I thought that they were engaged to get married. Anything could change, things could happen. Just look at Gypsy Rose. It doesn't matter if you're married or not sometimes, does it? Guys, I really don't want to bring them down to that level. But I wanted to talk about this because these relationships that are passionate, that take our breath away, that is love at first sight, and it's like, everything looks more beautiful when you think of this person. It's like rose-colored glasses through the mind, through the nose, through anything. It's how the world feels and looks and acts and smells and has the color of when you are passionately, madly in love and just counting the moments to be with the person. I've been there. I have felt that way. This is not an act. That's passion, and passion is a beautiful thing. But as the relationship, as time takes its toll, just like devastation. We are devastated for so long, and then we start healing around it. Okay, it's the same thing. Time starts coming in and punctures the heart of the relationship by the routine of daily life, by the challenges of waking up and stubbing your toe, by how everything you touch turns to SHIT that day, just having a bad day, how you can't get your hair perfect, how you don't feel good about yourself, how your clothes don't fit right, the days when it's just hard to survive. For everybody has these days. We wake up, maybe it was a dream we had, we don't remember the dream, but we have whatever the dream left us with. I never remember my dreams. It is so rare that I remember my dreams. And I do believe we dream every night. But anyway, Jennifer Lopez is in love with that magical feeling that we just spoke about, passion, that being in love, that keeping it, that I can't wait to see you again. Everything is perfect. Not everything is perfect, even with our loved ones. Not everything is perfect. And she just, when things become routine and every day for her, something doesn't feel right in her. That does not make her feel secure. She needs, and even Ben has said this, she needs to feel validated all the time. She doesn't have it within herself to make herself feel good about herself. And that's sad, because there's a lot of fucking people in this world that have our buttons. and that push them for either entertainment, to piss you off, to try to make a point that isn't about growth, because that's not how you do that. But just to get a reaction because their life is shit, they want to make your life the same way. There are people, and unfortunately they are the people that we know the longest, which is often family and best friends. They are not perfect either, so they can push and prod and cause a reaction. And either you overcome that with that person, as long as it's not a routine. If that's the routine and somebody's just toxic, I don't care if they're family or not. I can't keep that for my mental health. I just can't entertain that because it takes too much out of me. It deflates me, and it changes who I am. And I don't think anybody should do that. I understand going through rough times with people and helping people up when they're down, but they can't always be down. Just like they can't always be up. They can't always be down. Then that's a job to me. So, unfortunately, as we know, because he shared with us, Ben has an addictive personality. He's addicted to alcohol. This woman she's not even supposedly a drinker. She started this, selling this alcohol brand. It's kind of like this special kind of wine or something, I want to say. I don't drink, so it doesn't matter. How do you spend your money on that when your husband has struggled with sobriety? And I mean, you should be proud that he is still sober and overcoming that on a daily, because you're a lot to take on. But not only has Ben has that addiction, but he has a gambling addiction. He's a heavy-duty smoker, from my understanding. He has these things in his life that he thinks soothes him, that makes him feel better. So you already see his weaknesses in that he struggles. There are days this man struggles. I don't know him, but I could say there are days this man struggles. Look at all of his addictions. And I'm not casting any kind of bad, not at all. Not at all. I like Ben Affleck. This is not at all about throwing any kind of disrespect his way. It's just looking at a guy that he feels life. He feels life. That's why you self-medicate. That's why you do these things. You feel life, so you feel it more than others. He's made it clear that he's not very comfortable in the public eye. Well, Ben, this is the job that you picked. It comes with it. But Jen brings it in tenfold, and being that he has said, like I said, she craves that and needs that. Him being on her arm invites that as well. I remember the first Bennifer, So to think that time, and I did a video about this not long ago, but to think that time and maturity would have made you more ready for each other wasn't the problem. It wasn't maturity. It was two totally different people and one great attraction, kismet, if you will. The greatest love story never told, according to Jen. Right? According to Jen, the greatest love story never told. According to Jen Lopez. Right? Because, why? Because you couldn't make it work the first time, and you tried later on, and you just always kind of held each other in your heart. You're not the only ones that have ever done that. And tried later, only to have it fail. It is quite possible that you can have an attraction with somebody, have this intense spark with somebody, but that person still is not great for you. There are still fundamental things that you have and that they have, and it doesn't mesh. So with that, you date. You don't become married. You know, you date. And that could have been something if that were enough for them. Now, maybe that was enough for Ben. I don't know. Maybe not. Definitely not enough for Jen, because I hate to say it, it's going to take no time at all, and Jen's going to claim she's in love with somebody else, and it's going to happen. And maybe 20 years from now, when they're in their 60s, 70s, they'll try again. And at that point, it might work, because I think Jen probably doesn't have another 20 years, in my opinion, of a career. Because what's happened with Jen Lopez is what's overcome her career is the way she treats people. And that's come up because of this talk about the dissolvement of marriage, the selling of the couple's home, the vacations that are separate. They're clearly they're not wearing wedding bands. You know, so clearly there is trouble in paradise. But was it really paradise is the question. Guys, we've been involved in relationships like this where everything stops. When you see that person, everything stops and you are right there with them. And that's all that matters in the world. Moments when you look at that person and there's a smile that you guys share, and it's like you and her, or you and whomever against the world, and you've got that. And that's beautiful and that's wonderful. Those moments, they fit in the mosaic of our life, as my friend Tommy would say, that each piece of our life is a mosaic, and when you pull away, you get the full picture. So I kind of believe that. And I've had these intense spark relationships. Unfortunately, I'm single, so they haven't lasted. And I think you could build on those. You can build on those if you can accept normalcy. And I don't think Jennifer Lopez could accept normalcy. I think that makes her very insecure. If she were to walk somewhere and nobody were to notice her, I think Ben Affleck has enough self-confidence to say, that's okay, man, they're buying my tickets to see my movies. That's all I want them to do, because that's my job. Jen Lopez has the attitude, why aren't I noticed? I know I haven't been on stage in a minute. I know I haven't had an album out. I know my last several movies haven't done very well, but why aren't I noticed? Why aren't I noticed? And Jen Lopez has to get in herself. So especially, she's raising young adults here. These kids are young adults now, right? She has to have that confidence. We all do. So I'm talking to everybody. We have to have that confidence that if we're not noticed by that moment, by that person that we're madly crazy in love with, for that moment, if we're not noticed because something's going on in their world, or we're just not recognized that day. I'm not saying we should ever be taken for granted, but there is time and times that we are not the most important thing in the room. We are not the most important thing. I think it's important to ask somebody, how was your day, hon? Because that's what you're sharing is your life in days. That's it. So you want to share that. But I don't think you have to always reinforce the fact that you guys are there for each other. You're there for each other. That speaks for itself when you're sitting on the couch at the end of the day, when you're laying in bed at the end of it, when you wake up in the morning and you're ready to face that day, and one of you is like, and the other one's like, let me get the coffee. I'll get the coffee today, babe. No worries. You know, that's love. But this is everyday thing. These are everyday things. Knowing how somebody likes their coffee. I mean, that's love. You know, and I think that's the stuff that she takes for granted. And we can see that because if you guys watched that Netflix documentary, you know, or whatever the hell it was, that Greatest Love Story Never Told, you know, he had saved and printed out every love's note he ever wrote to her. And she left it as an album in the studio for people to look at and get inspiration from without saying anything to him. He opened up his heart for the whole fucking world, and that's never been who he is. What he took and he thought was sacred, and I'm going to give this to her, and it shows vulnerability, she shared with everybody. With everybody. To reinforce the fact that he was in love with you, that he's in love with you. It should have been enough when he told you. It should have been enough that he took the time and put that album together. You didn't need to validate it. You didn't need to show the world how loved you were. And that's what it is. It's more of the way things look. It's not really the way things are. And guys, a lot of times we want to pretend things are a little bit different so that people can say, oh, I want their life, I want their life. The truth of the matter is, behind everybody's door, you really want your own life. You're more familiar with it, you know where to stand because of the landmines, right? Every house has them. Everybody's throwing grenades. Everybody has their problems, you know? But once you can start navigating your life with somebody and you're walking in sync with them, that's love. That's love. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. What do you think? Tell me what you think. I appreciate it. In the comments, guys, don't forget August 2nd, Christopher Gregor sentencing that monster DAD who unalived his son. You remember the son that he kept putting on the treadmill over and over and over again? The little boy that didn't like sports, wanted to be an astronomer, only 6 years old. Quite the artist. He loved his mommy too. The people at New Jersey Child Protective Services, they managed to let him down too. We cannot let the judge let him down as well. Please, guys, go to my community page. See the link that shows you where to write to the judge to ask for the maximum sentence, respectfully, for Christopher Gregor, so that Corey can get justice, please. And guys, if you can, please, August 2nd, noon, the lawn, Toms River, New Jersey, the courthouse there, Hooper. It's on Hooper Lane or Hooper Street, guys. That's in the comment section. I mean the community section as well on the YouTube channel. Just go to community section. Check over Holly Jolly. She has a link that help people with carpooling or people that might need help with rides and stuff like that. People have donated. We're happy to help with that, guys, if you need it. Only ask that you show up, you're respectful. Please, if you don't have a sign, there's signs there, but we'd appreciate you making signs. Justice for Corey, and everybody wear blue. Also, we're asking for 3 days, the night of July 31st to the morning of August 2nd, if you could put up the picture of Corey Michelow on your profiles, on your social media profiles, in unison, just to show support, guys. And that picture is also on my community page, as well as Holly Jolly's community page. So if you go to my community page on YouTube, you can find information, and then there's a link to Holly Jolly's. I'm so grateful for her to help with organizing everything, guys. I'm carpooling. I'm bringing somebody. I'm headed from the Hudson Valley in New York down to Toms River. Anybody needing a ride, reach out. I already got one person. And I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. So please, please, this is something we can do, and it's a good thing. Justice for Corey, guys. All right, guys. Again, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. What do you think about Jen and Ben? It's over. Don't forget, guys, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always be kind.